First thing that comes into mind, how is this going to affect my career, staying in office, getting reelected? Second thing that comes to mind, how does this affect the people that put the money up to get me here and keep me here? And third, how is it going to affect the party that I'm with? Because if my party's in power, I share power. That's called partisanship. And I haven't even addressed the public interest, and I'm at the fourth level of decision making. Let's address my ideology and the fact that the person may be corrupt and is fourth, fifth, or sixth. That's where the public interest comes from. That's where your interest is dealt with. And the only way you can overcome that is for you to become lawmakers yourself. What I'm talking about is trying to change the paradigm of human governance. You are smarter than your leaders. They may be smarter, but they have barriers to making decisions. You have no barriers. You vote a majoritarian interest, and with a community like you have, with the numbers that you have, you could never possibly fail with national initiative on this subject. Please, please recognize what you have at your disposal. All you got to do is want to inform yourselves about it. I am staking my whole career on this, and for the rest of my life. At my age, I got no ego left. I'm not wealthy. All I want to do is tell you that you are the answers, not your leaders. Please have faith in yourselves, and the tools are there to just pick up, reach out for them. Go to nationalinitiative.us and you can vote right there on site. And we have 60 million Americans who vote to enact the national initiative. It's Katie bar the door. You'll be able to make law in every government jurisdiction of the United States. Lawmaking is the central power of government, not voting. Voting is giving your power away. I'm talking about a device for you to keep your power and then also vote to elect fine people to office. Then it's a partnership. It's a win-win. You make the policy decisions and they do the implementation of the government on a daily basis. That's win-win. That's bringing in the people to a fourth check of our system and checks and balances. When one party controls all the offices, you have no checks and balances. But you can never avoid the check of the people if you bring them in to share power. The Congress will not enact this kind of legislation. They're not in the business to share their power because they work so hard to acquire it. And the same thing with our system of taxation and health care and all of that. I could have taken the time to share with you my views and why other candidates are wrong in the policy areas. But I'm talking about fundamental change. And so some of them have taken a focus group and talk about change, magic word. Policy differences are policy differences. What I'm talking about is fundamental change in restructuring the nature of our government so that we can live up to the words of Abraham Lincoln, because we've never had a government by the people. We just never had it. And this is the opportunity to get it. It's called the National Initiative for Democracy. And if you have open hearts with respect to this, go to my site, Gravel 2008. I need your support. If you haven't followed what's going on, the likes of General Electric, and they're in the health business, they have exercised corporate censorship to kill my voice because I'm the only one running for office at the presidential level who's talking about the military-industrial complex and what that's done to American culture. It's militarized us, it's taken over our priorities, and you people are suffering as a result of it, and so does a whole host of other constituencies in this country. You can change it. Believe me, the Congress can't change it, nor can people get elected to president because they have to go to Congress to get the wherewithal to do it, and the Congress does not have the wherewithal to write that check for you. Again, let me repeat as I close. I'm asking you to share the responsibility with me of trying to change the paradigm of human governance by bringing the people into the operation of government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. That was certainly very thought-provoking. I thank you for sharing your thoughts and opinions with us. I'd like to ask a couple of questions. These questions have been submitted by the audience. This one is submitted by Roberta Gallant. That's you. All right, this is your question, Roberta.
I got a T-shirt like that, Roberta. I just don't wear it all the time.
Roberta wants you to talk about a person with a disability in your life and what you have learned from him or her.
The person with a disability that I want to talk about, I alluded to it, was myself. And it's a modest one. Secondly, and what I've learned from that is will and discipline, and prepared to recognize that whatever you do in life, you pay a price for it. The other is I had a nephew who was hemophiliac, and he got bad blood and developed AIDS and died at 16 years old. You may know him. You may know him. His name was Will Demers, and he was taken up by the Red Sox and was their mascot and used to play the bugle at their games. And of course, he was very close to Paul Newman, so I got exposed to what Paul Newman has been doing for the disadvantaged children who are terminal. And every time I talk about it, I just get very emotional. Paul Newman, to show you how personal it was, when this kid was dying in his last 30 days, Paul would call him probably every other day, and they would wager. They would wager on something. And Paul Newman always managed to lose. And so he would take a half a dollar, paste it on a piece of paper, and send it Federal Express to my nephew, who would collect the half a dollar for winning the bet. This is sensitive. What they've done with Hole in the Wall and with the parents and the rehabilitation that's all involved with that. And this kid's parents, his father couldn't work. He had cancer, throat cancer. My family is not wealthy. I'm not wealthy, but we're real Americans. And so we've lived the ordinary life. I still do. And so that's my personal experience. It informs me. But when I'll make a statement on this. You judge a civilization by how it treats its seniors, how it treats its children, and how it treats its veterans. Our civilization fails grossly on all three counts. Next question.
Thank you, Senator. Courtney Turner of Ware, New Hampshire, asks, colleges and universities aren't competing for students with disabilities like they are for other underserved populations. How can we get colleges and universities to proactively recruit and serve students with disabilities?
Well, real simple. I could make you a promise, I'll do it when I'm president. No, I'm making you a promise that I want you to be empowered to make laws, and you'll do it. I'll help lead you as your legislative leader, but you can do it. All you got to do is have the power to do it. This isn't magic. This isn't magic. If you want somebody up here to promise the moon to you, fine. I can make those kind of speeches. I don't have time for that. Not at my age.
Sorry. Hello? Am I on? Okay, thank you. This is the final question. Peter Darling of Warner, New Hampshire, asks, how would you expand employment outcomes for people with disabilities and remove disincentives to work present in the Social Security system?
Here again, the answer is with you, not with me. Our Social Security system, you hear all these politicians tell you what they're going to do. They've been raiding the Social Security system for the last 50 years. That's the reason why we're not going to have any money down the road to meet the obligations. They raid it every year. They put a little bond in a lockbox with a lousy rate of interest, and people aren't any the wiser. You don't hear anybody in the Congress talk about that. That's part of the problem here too. If you are equipped to deal with these problems, you are the authorities on this subject, not the Congress. And the people in Congress who do provide leadership, like Ted here, is because he's felt the pain of disability. And so that's where the leadership comes from. And it comes from you and those who know firsthand. So all we got to do is the people who understand, the people who have the brain power, the people who have the commitment, they've got to be empowered to do something about it. And if we do that, then you'll see solutions, not from the people running for president. Because, hey, politicians want to tell you what you want to hear. Vote for me, I'm going to give you everything you want. Vote for me, everything you want. If you buy that, then you deserve the government you get. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.
And thank you, Ted, for your leadership in this regard.